Hello, hello. I'm back again. So, yesterday, we went through the physical DPS and the healer role quests. Dealt with, oh no. Lurik, that's what his name was. Lurik and Gyat over here. Learned a bit more about, Dwarven culture, which was kind of fun. I will say that in retrospect, I don't know if the healer one is still, like, my favorite, but, like, thinking even harder, I'm not entirely sure which one I'd put that label on. The tank one's pretty good. I don't know. I think that the healer one is novel largely because it gives you a bit more insight into that dwarven culture. It's interesting for that reason. But today I will be going through the Role Master Quest as well as the Void Calls. If you were there or have watched or have gone through the MSQ, all of it anyway, it does come up here and there, bits and pieces, in interesting ways, and I'm very excited to see if it continues coming up, should we ever deal a bit more with the restoration of the 13th. But, with that said, let us get right into it. Well, if it isn't the Great Hunter himself. As if you don't know, all four of the cardinal virtues laid low, all with your help. You're the talk of the stairs, Arntel. When the night returned to Lakeland, we knew in our hearts that change was on the horizon, but never did I dare hope that you might rid us of those terrible fiends. You've surpassed my wildest expectations. Not mine, Glynard. When I first laid eyes on him, I had an inkling that he was the hero we'd been waiting to come along. Easy to claim after the fact. If you'd indulge me, though, I would love to hear you tell how it all played out, the hunting of the virtues, that is. My word, there's so much more to it than I realized, and there I thought you'd only had to track down the bloody things. Gods, though, the things you learn about the Warriors of Light, so many secrets learned, so many secrets and details lost over time, and for all their hard work and sacrifice, they somehow brought about the flood. Can't say I understand it at all, but it's a bloody tragedy. It is. We should gather the others and toast their memories. Heroes of Eld, brave and true, to be remembered forevermore. Now, I'll thank you not to let your bleeding heart drive you to offer up a fortnight's stock of spirits. Attend to your other customers and let me speak with the hero of here and now. Whatever would I do without your good sense and wisdom? Very well, I'll leave you to entertain him, but don't think we won't be having that drink someday. Arntel, I must thank you for sharing with us such incredible tales. 'Tis only right that I repay you in kind. With the ending, that is, with the story of the true villain who towers above the virtues, the devil more deserving of death than any that yet lingers in this world. If your curiosity has been piqued, then meet me atop the balcony overlooking the crystalline mean. I will be waiting there until you do. Where is Sorella? Would I need her? No, Syala. running off on a personal matter when we're busier than ever. Yeah, man, you're fucking drowning right now. Oh, there it is. This one. Yeah, I can't believe the Dawn Trail's only like 2.25 weeks away. You came, as I knew you would. Never met a mystery you could leave well enough alone, or a demon that you could let live. Am I right? This demon is undeniably deserving of death. Make no mistake, to cut them down would be just and proper. The act of a goodly person, and that is just what you are. I can see that. No need to grow impatient or offended, my friend, but before you pass judgment on this villain, you need first to understand their part in everything. Who they were to the fallen warriors of light, for instance. Of course, right about now, you must be wondering how I know what I know. What a tavern wench of all people has got to do with any of this. Let me tell you then, I am the one who brought together the Virtue Hunters. I am the one who marked you as a potential ally to them and bade you join them in their quests. I alone knew what had to be done and what sort of sinner would be needed to see this tale of tragedy and betrayal brought to an end. But come, we have many malms ahead of us still, to Clusia and the Cadre's Crook. I will go on ahead and wait for you there. Don't mind me desperately trying to fucking polish my glasses in between quest steps. Much better. You are accustomed to life on the road, I see, as am I. Do you recognize this place? I thought you might. Here is where it began, where Ardbert first met Lemet. Still young and lacking in experience, but possessed of so much potential. Heroes in the making. Even then, the keen-eyed could see. They would only fulfill that purpose much later, though, after joining with their other dear companions, Brandon and Rendere. And one other, an elven woman, not half bad with a sword. But perhaps you were already asking the question who. There were 5 warriors of light in all, but she would make 6. Indeed, after adding in Nilebert, there does seem to be one too many. But believe me when I say there was indeed a 6th adventurer lost to history, and her name was Silva. Though I doubt I need convince you of this truth, when you walked in the Virtue's memories, you saw her time and time again. Did you not? Then you saw the true villain, the traitor responsible for all their woes. Let us continue the story elsewhere, to Amarang and the Fields of Amber. You saw the true villain's face in their memories, and I told you her name and Inclusia. But what were her crimes, you ask? Hearken to my tale, and you will learn. Silva had joined the others before they met Nilebert. After their party of 5 came to this place, they took on a commission to slay a powerful beast that had taken up residence in the mines. Said beast was believed to be the instigator of ever more terrible tremors, and so time was of the essence. But during their hurried search, they crossed paths with their future companion, then a competitor aiming to usurp their prize. After another tremor triggered by the beast trapped them all underground, they had no choice but to work together to lay it low. But to their dismay, even after its death, the earth continued to shudder violently. As the adventurers looked to each other in confusion, Nilebert strode towards the beast's body and grabbed hold of a curious stone. A stone brimming with untold aether that he had sought out that he might harness its potential to rescue a loved one lost to the rift. But so powerful was the stone that it warped the flow of the life stream. Its very existence was a threat, and so, when faced with the choice between one life and countless others, Nilebert wept and shattered the stone. He had held his comrade's salvation in his hand and cast aside for the greater good. For his sacrifice, he was judged a hero, and in that same instant, a warrior of light was born. In life, Nilebert was a pragmatic figure, whose wisdom and sagacity were admired by all. Little wonder that in death he would retain his virtue. But as Nilebert mourned the friend he forever lost, the betrayer Silva looked on in silent contentment, for they had taken the first step on their path towards becoming heroes, brave and true. His sacrifice had sparked the transformation. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. What ritual you may wonder? Fear not, all will become clear in time. Come with me to Raktika, to the city of swamps. We must retrace the steps as they were taken to understand the depth of her treachery. This place too is This place too is familiar to you, know, from days recent and long since past. After the events in Amarang, Ardbert and his comrades grew in fame, spurring others to entreat their aid. The adventurers sought out greater and greater challenges, and in pursuit of another, they came to Raktika. While here, the hunter Renderay learned that the notorious mark Balamquitz was near, and so, under cover of darkness, she slipped away from the others to slay the beast by herself. Like Nilebert before, of course, you already know what her motive was. Balamquitz had robbed her of her fellow hunters. Only vengeance would redress the balance. Moreover, she would not dare risk the lives of her new comrades. So terrified was she of the mere possibility that she might have to relive that terrible day. And so she faced Balamquitz alone, and would have surely died for it had Ardbert and the others not arrived in time to help. Like Nilebert before, of course, you already know what happened next. For her love, her conviction, and her resolve, she was chosen by Hydaelyn. And from that day forward, Renderay never swore never again to betray her comrades' trust, to share with them the triumphs and the tragedies, to relinquish the freedom she had once held in the highest. The bravest, most courageous hunter that ever was. That moment would define what she became in life and in death. Her sacrifice would hasten the transformation. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. The betrayers Silva looked on, yet more satisfied. They were oblivious to her machinations, unaware that they were dancing to her tune. Their journeys continued, and so must ours, to Ilmeg and Lygia. I think this one is slightly closer. Getting Rathalos a lot today. As beautiful now as it was then. You saw it too, would you not agree? With the death of Balamquitz, the legend of Ardbert and his comrades had grown larger than ever. Thus emboldened, they came to the kingdom of Vobert. Vobert had long been troubled by what some had dubbed a magical plague, innocents found transformed into misshapen fiends that the kingdom's knights had no choice but to put down ere the contagion spread. Brandon had been one such knight. In his youth he had served the Princess Saldia faithfully, only to be cast out for a single mistake. Thus did he take to the road where he met Ardbert and the others. Having grown stronger and wiser and more respected, Brandon felt it was time to return and redeem himself. And with the aid of his comrades, he did just that. Tadric, the court mage, was unmasked as the mastermind of Vobert's misery, and by disgraced knight's blade was he brought to justice. But with his dying breath, Tadric cursed the Princess Saldia, sentencing her to a fate worse than death. At her behest did he raise up his blade, and for the sake of the kingdom, strike down his liege lady. And with that single stroke he forever changed, though nearly not in the way that was necessary. He stood at the precipice and almost forsook his compassion for unflinching judgment, but mercifully he turned aside at the last. Thus did he find and embrace true justice, that which weighs law and heart together and strives for the greater good. 'Tis a long, difficult road from which many stray, settling for simpler moralities, but I would expect no less from the man who became Daikaiosai. His sacrifice would strengthen the transformation. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. As her companions grew ever more powerful, so did the betrayer Silva. Bit by bit, they brought her closer to her goal. But it was not yet finished. To Calusia they returned, and so must we. Tamra and the next chapter of our tale await. Slowly but surely, the adventurers were fulfilling their potential. Word of their deeds in Vobert spread like wildfire, and their legends grew even larger. But for all their success, the fledgling heroes would be forced to endure more hardship and welcome more sacrifice. They pressed deeper into the depths of Raktika towards ancient Ronka. 'Twas there that the dwarf Lamet came to a crossroads, for in claiming the magic she desperately desired, she would be forced to renounce something equally precious. Dwarves are a reclusive lot, wont to withdraw from the outside world that their many traditions might be preserved in isolation. When the stone blight began to spread, they chose to lock away the afflicted and refused to seek outside help. But Lamet would not abide this. She vowed to save her Elling kin, her sister among them, even if it meant violating dwarven law. With her newfound power, she returned and cured the sick, and for this she was banished by the Council of Elders. This came as no surprise, for she had made her peace with it long before. When she stood in that ancient ruin and called upon for forgotten guardians to grant her forbidden knowledge, she knew then what the price would be. She had weighed her traditions and identity against the lives of those she loved and made her choice, though it pained her terribly and in ways only a dwarf could understand, and Hydaelyn, it would seem. Through hardship and sacrifice, a new warrior of light was forged. A healer that knew more than any the value of life, and would do anything to see it preserved, even in death. Her sacrifice would nearly complete the transformation. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. Very soon, then, very soon. For Ardbert and his comrades had stumbled upon evidence of the larger design, threads linking together the disparate troubles of the realm. A name spoken only in whispers, the Shadowkeeper. A singular force sowing chaos and discord throughout Norvrad to an unknown end. If the Warriors of Light truly wished to save their world, then they would need to confront this villain amongst villains. And at the end of their exhaustive search, at the end of their struggle, who do you think they found waiting to welcome them with open arms? The answer to that awaits us in Lakeland, our final destination. The villain yet walks among us, Arentel, unknown and unpunished. Go on ahead and wait for me at Laxton Loft. There are preparations to which I must first attend. Man, that armor is so fucking cool. Damn you, Silva. We were comrades in arms, friends. That we were, and that we are. Everything I said, everything I felt, it was all true. You mean the world to me. You're the bloody Shadowkeepers. What in the hell was it all for? For you, for every one of you, to forge you into heroes worthy of her blessing, that she might choose you as her champions. A ruthless mage consumed by the pursuit of power to save his friend, no matter the cost, by his sacrifice of warrior born. A mournful hunter, scarred by tragedy, resolved never again to trust in others, by her sacrifice of warrior born. A disgraced knight who yearned to steal his heart in justice's name, by his sacrifice of warrior born. A troubled healer torn between tradition and love, by her sacrifice of warrior born. And their leader, an adventurer with a heart overflowing with love for his dearest comrades, must now bring his axe to bear against his own, by his sacrifice a warrior born. I am the villain you seek, the keeper of shadows from a world shrouded in dark. By our struggle will this world be shattered and its souls saved. I ain't gonna yell that. Am I gonna be Ardbert? It didn't ask me to a level sync. Aw, shame. I've honestly forgotten. I guess we technically do relive that fight in some version of it when we in the Eden raids, yeah. So I suppose in a way it'd be redundant, though I do kind of doubt that Silva became the fucking Shadow Dog. That's likely just a what's the word? Embellishment made by Metron. Saw it all, did you? I thought you might. Mother's gift has a knack for showing up exactly when you need to see, or for showing us exactly what we need to see, if not what we want to or when. They knew me as Silva, but my real name, it doesn't matter. Like you, I am not of this world. I crossed the rift and came to the first. My home, the 13th, fell to dark in a calamity that mirrored the one which nearly claimed this world. I was one of several heroes who failed to save it. The boy, Unakalhai. I've glimpsed him in your memories. He was a friend. Like him, I heeded the words of the Ascians, and, that I might redress the balance, I chose to come here and hasten a rejoining of worlds. A shard subsumed by dark demands a mirror of blinding light. Primordial forces will strive to achieve equilibrium. But there was a solution, a single solution, I believed. Were a flood of light to consume this shard in its entirety, it would be of no use. The Ascians made it clear it must be brought to the brink, but no further. The task was difficult, but the plan simple. Souls predisposed to light, fledgling heroes in the making. I would bring together Ardbert and his comrades and groom them for a higher purpose. I would play the part of a comrade and guide their course, all the while laboring in secret to pit stronger and stronger enemies against them, until finally, once they were warriors of light, brave and true, I would reveal myself as a warrior of darkness and extinguish their radiance forever. Thus would this world be primed for a rejoining, and the source for a calamity. The Ascians, who called themselves Metron and Logrith, were confident it would succeed, and indeed, Ardbert and the others rose to the occasion, as I knew they would. It was not to be. I had misjudged Ardbert. His comrades before him had made their sacrifices in turn, and as their mirror, I had grown stronger for it. Had he but embraced his role and struck me down, victory would have been mine. But Ardbert, dear Ardbert, would not forsake his heart. In the end, he chose mercy, he chose love, and I was undone. The rest you know. He sought out Mitron and Logrif and granted them what he refused me. They accomplished everything they set out to achieve, and then the flood came and washed it away. In the wake of my betrayal, I would look on from the shadows and reflect on my many sins as all fell to ruin, denied death then and now, and perhaps even after, as a fragment of my essence endures. But then, one day, years ago, my fallen comrades rose again as the cardinal virtues. It coincided with the arrival of the first scions, I later realized, a defense against the forces being marshaled to undo my failure. I can but assume the Ascians planted the idea in Vauthry's head. They were his creations after all, and with their graves in Yulmoran territory, it was doubtless a simple matter to have their bodies exhumed and prepared. Who am I to speak, you may think, when I say this, but when I saw these abominations he had wrought in their image, I was filled with such despair, such anger. I cannot unwrite the past. My soul is stained with blackest sin, and I will not pretend that it can ever be otherwise. But this act I could not ignore. If the Ascians were going to such lengths, then surely others would cross the rift in due time, and so I hatched a plan. I would assume the guise of Ciela, and as her, take up residence in the Crystarium, where I would take measures to bring together the most ambitious of adventurers, individuals driven by more than mere coin, virtue hunters. That way, when the enemy the Ascians feared more than any came to the first, the stage would be set. They would join in the hunter's quest, and together unmake Vauthry's simulacra, and lay their souls to rest once more. And so you did, Arntel. The virtues are no more, but the one ultimately responsible for their creation, the devil who set them on their doomed path, lingers still. You know all there is to know of the heroes who saved this world. The truth I kept hidden in the shadows is yours, and there are no more secrets to share. And so I ask you now to grant me that which Ardbert could not: death. You still have a duty to others. No, don't do this. Don't you spare me like he did. How can you stand there and say I deserve to live, knowing everything I did, the lives I destroyed, the chaos I wrought, the wardens, pale in comparison? Surely there is no greater villain than the Shadowkeeper. Which is why you must live to atone for your deeds. I should have expected a hero would say something like that. How does one even seek atonement? 'Tis an undiscoverable country, and no charts or stars to guide. How will I even know when I find it? Perhaps I may yet find purpose in preserving my comrades' legacy, and helping others to understand the sacrifices that made them true heroes. For now I shall return to the Crystarium and continue to assist Glynard, while spreading the forgotten tales of the Warriors of Light. You would have been good friends, you and Ardbert, in another life. Maybe you and I as well. Oops. She didn't get the fucking memo that fucking I spent the entirety of Shadowbringers shooting the shit with Ardbert. In some ways, I literally am Ardbert now. Like, we got fucking Frey, Meist, and Ardbert all fucking just chilling out in my soul right now. I tell you, I'm not at all accustomed to wearing armor any longer. I am not at all accustomed to wearing armor any longer. Simply moving about in it is enough to tax my strength, and fighting, ugh. Any one of Captain Lena's recruits could probably put me flat on my back. Fortunately, I needn't rely on my sword to spread the truth of my fallen comrades' deeds. Only words and the passage of time will see their legacy redeemed in the eyes of the people. Thank you for accompanying me on my journey of remembrance, Arntel. May your deeds ever be remembered and celebrated as all heroes deserve. If it isn't Arntel, loitering about the stairs, just like any old evening. And here I was worried that you'd gone back to your world for good, and I was too late. I still visit from time to time. There's useful fucking crafting materials in the first, man. It's just that I've been thinking about the crystals belonging to the Warriors of Light. I hear they ended up with you after you lot defeated the Virtues. I assume you have Ardberts as well. Didn't I leave Ardberts with Sato? Indeed. Oh, yep, I am remembering correctly. Indeed, that does seem appropriate. His bond with Seto is deep and enduring. As for the others, I had hoped you might be persuaded to leave them in my care. It was only right that they, like Ardbert, should accompany you on your journey to set this world back on its proper course. Yet you now have a home you must return to, while the first is theirs. After all, they did it to keep it safe. They deserve to be here to see what its future holds. Oh, don't make that face. I know it's a big decision, but it needn't fall entirely to you. There are others here who care for the Warriors of Light as much as you do, aren't there? You see why I work here. Folk are always in reach when I need them. Anything from you, Glynard? Fair enough. Anything from you, Glynard? Not really. Hello, Gyat. Now that's some damn fine ale. How many should I order for you? I know you ain't much of a drinker, so 6, 7, perhaps 1. What? You want to help deciding the fate of Lamet's crystal and the others too? Does this place have any bigger tankards? Well, if you insist, Lurico owes me a drink. Owes me drinks, plural, so I'll make sure he joins us. Maybe find Granson while I'm at it. You go on and wait with Krieg and Taynor, or order around while I'm out, you hear? Yeah, seems excited. Should I be concerned? Good to see you, Arntel. What did you say? What did you say that has Gyat so worked up? Like, the crystals, huh? That does sound like a conversation worth getting everyone together for. Did Lurik really promise to pay for Gyat's drinks? That's a disaster in the making. Not just hers. Rounds for the lot of us. Might be that the lad yet has a few things to learn about coin and the scarcity thereof. Still, I'll not turn down his generosity. Go and tell the barkeep we'll be needing food and ale for the table. Fine, but please try to exercise some restraint. I'll not carry you back to the room again. Here we are. How much of a head start did you get? Should I ask him to bring out the cask? I reckon we should hear our intel out first. So you're telling me that the barmaid was one of Nilebert's companions, not to mention the Shadowkeeper, and from a different world? That's laying it on a bit thick. It certainly raises questions. Quite. Such as how she retains her youthful visage. Not that. I had my suspicions about her. The other night, I was at the counter, quaffing my ale, having a grand time, and next I realized I'm outside without a guilt to my name, and it ain't the first time. It could only be the power of the Shadowkeeper, and not that you drink enough to fell a small army. If our intel says it's true, I'm inclined to believe it. Which leaves us with the matter of entrusting the crystals to her. She's right that this was Brandon's home, and the others too, and it's home to their most important memories. Not all of them good, maybe, but everyone they loved is laid to rest here. I agree, Nilebert belongs here. Ardbert's crystal is with Sato in this world. Lamet would want to be near. Renda Ray as well, I think. She'd want to be with her friends in the place that she loved. It seems we all agree. A toast, then, to the Warriors of Light. To the Warriors of Light, please, $5 on the Mog Station. Drink up, I'm paying, and as bounty hunters, I expect you all to take proper advantage of that. I hate to disappoint, but I'm not much for alcohol. This juice looks nice, though. That's not... Fucking lightweight. Couldn't even handle a single glass of fucking cider. How did you manage this? Twice the mess, and half the time as normal, and half the time as normal patrons. I swear. I overheard your conversation, by the way. Do you agree with your friends? The crystals are yours, Storykeeper. Their legacies are safe with me. You have my word. What color was Ardbert's again? Thank you. I'm honestly I think his was like just gray. I can feel them. Their memories. Why? Why, damn it? You're all just like Ardbert. I betrayed you. I manipulated you, and still you thought of me as a comrade, a friend, until the very end. I did warn you. My head. Is everyone else here? I don't see Granson. Oh, oh, there he is. I want to talk to all of them. I can't remember the last time. Last time I was so drunk, or any of the other times neither. But that ain't important. A successful sousing calls for a celebratory ale. A week's worth of earnings. How is it possible? This is why I don't drink. We finally managed to clean up after you lot, for the most part. Perhaps next time we should set down a terraplune. Terrapolin? It's a tarp. They're talking about a tarp.
Tarpaulin.
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 Tarpaulin. I'm gonna keep calling it a tarp. Nevertheless, I'm grateful to you for entrusting these to me, and as long as I live, I will never stop sharing the true tale of the Warriors of Light, of my friends. You don't see him. We're getting to that, I promise. Side story, the void calls, the void calls, the void calls. Something about Nietzsche. Wait. So it's the same dialogue, very slightly tweaked. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. That dwarf can drink. I feel like there's an axe through my skull, and she's completely fine. That's the only dialogue that's like substantially different. Granson didn't heave, and like she lost a sentence. No, not even a sentence. Like 2 words. That's so. Why have different text boxes? Anyway, seeing the lot of you together like that, it reminds me of my old days. Ardbert and the rest, drinking and bickering and laughing, drove each other half mad at times. But there was never any question of who'd be there when times got tough. Can't help but wonder, can I, if I'd had companions like that back home, could it have been saved? I'm not the only one who tried, though. Each of us stood alone. Though each of us stood alone, there was Unakalhai. We've met. He was working with Elidibus at the time. Yes, he too was one would-be savior of the 13th, and was spared his fated demise by Ascian devices. We spoke once, after the destruction of our world. If the others could be saved, we thought, we yet had parts to play. What he's up to now that Elidibus is gone, though, I have no idea. Has he found himself a new role as I have, or does he feel as adrift as we were back then? If you encounter him in the Source, I ask that you help him find a way forward, just as you have helped all of us here. Obviously, the boy can't take up work in a tavern, but there must be some means to start him towards a new goal. Pray return to the Rising Stones. Pray return to the Rising Stones. Hello, Tataru. Don't mind me. Just passing through. I think a neat detail in Dawntrail would be if the Rising Stones got a makeover to make it like really obvious that like all of this is a boutique. That would be cool. I would like that. Or an office could also be like fitting. Granted, I don't think the Scions are going to stay disbanded, quote unquote, or not, regardless, for longer than like an expansion and a half. And like, or it'll just never reform, but like they'll stop with the pretenses about hiding it, you know. Well, then, Arntel, what brings you here today? I've been wrong before about the direction the narrative's going to take. Urianger did appraise me of your travels in the first, and what became of Elidibus at long last. But I was not aware that you were working with Silva. I consider her a comrade of sorts, though our time together was short. Looking upon the twisted remains of the world you tried to save creates a bond that few can understand. At that time, we spoke of what we could hope to achieve with our newfound immortality and our regrets. Though I then believed what had happened to be the natural result of my age and inexperience, I now think this was merely the least painful explanation I could offer myself. Silva is right. We ought to have sought each other out before it was too late. I would not make the same mistake again. With the warring triad gone, I am indeed in need of a new purpose, but to seek it alone is folly. I should like to speak with Silva, assuming such a thing is possible. As I mentioned, she understands how I feel more than any other. Of course, all I require is your soul. Should have swapped Reaper. You speak of the spirit vessel, correct? That means by which the Scions return to the source? If I understand the principles at work correctly, then it was a near miracle that you succeeded in bringing them back without killing them. If Elidibus is to be believed, however, my current state makes me something of an exception in matters of life and death. In which case, there is not to be lost from making the attempt. Please say you'll help. We need an expert in spirit vessels. Is that like Matoya on the source? Obviously, it's Beglug on the first. Oh, Urianger, that actually makes more sense. Pray forgive the delay. Thou dost seek my counsel. The gifts granted young Unakalhai by Hydaelyn and the Ascians may prove a boon in easing the transition. However, I know not to what extent, nor what might befall thy spirit should it be lost betwixt worlds. Nevertheless, I know that this is my path forward. Please, Urianger. Very well. If thou believest thou shalt find new purpose in the first, I will do all in my power to see thee safely there. It shall be but a few moments. Mayhap a worthy tome might keep thee occupied whilst I perform the necessary magics. Hang on. Oh, there's a book right there. Is that the game they're gonna play? "'Tis done. Pray guard this vessel well." Unakalhai is as I and the other Scions were on the first, a soul with form, yet no true body. Thus, 'twas a simple matter to transfer him to the spirit vessel using the selfsame process as before. To withdraw his essence once across the rift ought to prove similarly straightforward. However, I fear that such an existence cannot sustain itself indefinitely. Look to the Ascians' example. Their persistent use of flesh and blood vessels surely hath cause. be a danger akin to that which would have befallen us had we not returned to the source, I know not. But the time may come when the boy requireth a fully corporeal form. Should this come to pass, I trust that thou shalt come to his aid. I'm sure Beglug's got some ideas. For the moment, however, thou needst only convey the spirit vessel to Beglug. Farewell, both of thee. Just a moment, gotta send a message. Turn off the app. Sorry, a friend of mine just recently finally did the fucking benchmark. Oh, gotta love it. I ran the new one too. Man, Aura is being done so well, so good with the fucking benchmark. Like, unironically makes me terrified that, like, every single Glamour and Dawn trial is gonna have capes just to fucking spite us. Because, like, that's, like, the only thing that can, like, redress the balance and how good Aura is getting it. Like, it is such a fucking improvement. The only thing is that I may need to use the Free Fantasia to change my Limbo Ring. Barely. I'm so happy with it. I did the first benchmark on stream, and the biggest noticeable difference for Aura is just that the shadows are a bit more intense. So what VOD is that? It's like 70 something? No, it's like late 80s, I think. I can actually check. But yeah, you check all that out. And mind the discussion about Pictomancer, yeah? Hang on. Now even my curiosity is piqued, and I must check. I wasn't in Shadowbringers, was I? It's gonna be easier if I just pull up my playlist and then keyword search. Ah! Oh, 66! God damn. I was way off. It wasn't a Dawntrella. Dawntrella on Endwalker. So, stream 66. And of course, every single VOD of basically every stream is on my YouTube. Link below the next to the description. The only exceptions being I streamed Dark Souls 3 for like an stream, and I wasn't into it, so that VOD's gone. The VOD where I actually dropped Neo is gone, because it was only an hour long and I got really fucking annoyed. So that's privated. I'm trying to think if there's any other VODs I've killed. I think that might be it actually. Eh. Okay, I can't talk to Moen. Back again, are you? And we're obviously not counting any VODs where, like, it was 20 minutes long and then my internet died and I didn't stream again that day. I usually don't even export those. Well, those are also gone, but I don't count those. Back again, are you? I'm flattered that you've grown so fond of Norvred. Or I would be if you have that, but you have that expression you lot always wear when you're about to ask me for something. Please give Unakalhai a body. Please, Beglug, please. You did what? After all the perils your friends faced and the labors we undertook to return them to your world, you've brought another soul across the rift? Have you no common sense? It's fine. Just work your magics, whatever. There had better be a very compelling reason for all this, whelp. Removing a spirit from vessel will be easy enough, I suppose. However, it requires a few moments without your breathing down my neck. Also, your friend is unlikely to materialize with clothes on, so I doubt they'll want an audience. You should wait here, perhaps take the opportunity for some self-reflection. Oh, very well. At least I tried. We'll find you at the Wandering Stairs directly then. If you've no inclination to explain yourself further, begone with you. Moen? Nope, Moen does not want to fucking talk to me. Entirely too engrossed in his book. Aetheryte. No, use the fucking Aetheryte. Pendants. Anything new, Krieg? Nope. You want me to speak with someone? Very well. You've done the same at my request often enough. How long are we meant to wait for this friend of yours? I do have work to do, you know. This is Beglug? Ah, here you are. Pardon the delay. It took some time to acquire robes of an appropriate size. Is this them? No, that's just Beglug. Renowned soul sorcerer. Friend of Luxarium. Silva. What? Unakalhai? Indeed it is. Trust me, I can hardly believe that I'm here myself. I should think so. When I sent Arntel to ask after you, it never occurred to me that you might be able to cross the rift without Ascian aid. No mysterious mask? My choices and my reasons are my own now. If I am to have faith in them, in myself, I cannot hide who I am. Speaking of which, Unakalhai was kind enough to fill me in, unlike some, and I was interested to hear of an erstwhile hero of the 13th, serving libations at the Wandering Stairs. But that this hero should be you surpasses the scope of even my considerable imaginings. Was that you at Granus Licht so long ago? Not so long ago to me, or you mayhap, though I had thought I might at last put those days behind me. But perhaps this is for the best. They're not all bad memories. They never are. I should very much like to hear your story, should you be willing to share it. Our world, like this one, had its share of would-be heroes, myself and Unakalhai among them. Unlike your warriors of light, however, each was unaware of or unconcerned with our fellows. But to fight alone is to fall alone, and the insidious aether of the Oresight used to seal primals corrupted once noble souls and turned them, one by one, to darkness. Even those who resisted this fate could not escape its consequences. No surprise, perhaps, as we continued to struggle in solitude. We were spared by Ascian machinations, but only as our world met its death. But what if that death could be undone? I was told that much of the first was consumed by light, as our home was by darkness, yet balance and life are being restored to even that scoured land they call the empty. If such a thing is possible, then why not the reverse? Could we not bring light back to the 13th? Even the Ascians considered the 13th lost. Thus was it excluded from the rejoining. But what say you? You have a way of making miracles happen. The world of darkness was not in a state I'd consider salvageable. Anything is possible. A little bit of hope. Gotta love some hope. It doesn't sound like an empty platitude coming from you. It was the same with Ardbert. Pardon the interruption, but might I suggest a closer examination of conditions on the 13th before we form any conclusions? We could use the crystal tower to open a void gate, couldn't we? Please. Have you lost your head? The crystal tower is not a toy, and you are not to use it to unleash great and terrible void scent upon this world. According to the records, there was a group who worked out how to open small void gates, through which to summon minor fell beasts and the like. Magics of that nature should work, though I am unsure if any with the knowledge of the original technique yet live. Oh, there's a Taylor, Taynor. There's one right over there. How fortunate. Let us inquire with this Taynor immediately. Yes, you do that. In the meantime, I will ready a means for peering into the depths of the void without endangering ourselves. Use these to contact me when you are prepared to open the gate. We shall, at the very first opportunity, I promise. He really hasn't aged a day. Not that it should surprise me of all people, but what a fascinating place to spend one's days. I should love to hear more about the patrons that have passed through. It's a pleasure. No, it's always a pleasure, Arundel. But who's your friend? I don't believe we've met. We have not. As I am not from this world, the situation is rather complicated, but I hope that you might be willing to assist me. My poor Mike. It is true that we had the means to open such portals. We call them hollows, and it was through one of these that I was drawn into the rift. So it is possible. Not with my power alone. I understand the greatness of your need, and were Nilebert still at my side, I should be glad to make the attempt. But the technique required to combine. But the technique required the combined force of our energies in resonance. If one person's magics are insufficient, perhaps I could assist. From what I can sense, our ethereal reserves are roughly equivalent, and our physical similarities suggest that our energies are not incompatible. I fear you underestimate the difficulty of the task. Nilebert and I were born for this, and even so, it took us years before our efforts were perfectly in step. I realize that it's a lot to ask, considering that we've just met, but we could not at least attempt it. Yours is the only such magic I've ever heard of, and if we might actually be able to save my home. May I interject? You will recall that the crystals in my possession preserve the memories of the former Warriors of Light, including Nilebert's in an ethereal form. And Unakalai here has a particular talent for interpreting the minds and motives of ethereal beings, the Primals. If I could apply the same principles to interpret Nilebert's crystal, an experiment worth trying at the least, I'll fetch it. Speak to me, Nilbert. Do his memories of training with Taynor remain? They do, and such strong sentiment with them. Taynor, you should know that Nilbert desired nothing so much as to rescue you, his dearest friend. He held so fiercely to his memories of your technique, of the technique you mastered together, because he hoped they might be your salvation. Oh, Nilbert, I won't let them go to waste. I will do what I can to help see the 13th restored. Thank you. I won't pretend I understand the half of what's going on here. Just keep them from running headlong into anything too dangerous, will you? Nothing to worry about so long as you're around, I'm sure. Wicked White, I nearly forgot. I've half a dozen orders to fill. You know where to find me when you've made progress with the gate. We're ready when you are. That Unicalhai could stand to slow down a bit, but who hasn't been a touch reckless in pursuit of a good cause? Trying to make sure he stays in one piece, huh? If you have no objection, Taynor, I would like to practice creating hollows as soon as possible. Of course, but not within the Gastarian. If we succeed in opening even the smallest window into that realm, it is likely that fell creatures will emerge. Follow me. Wait, nothing new. 2 Fort God. There you are. Please tell Taynor we can begin. Assuming no one ventures near, this location should be suitable. Unicalhai, when I give the word, begin channeling your aether. Nilbert's memories will have told you as much, but it is imperative that you maintain focus on our ethereal resonance throughout this process. With that in mind, Arntel, I ask that you take care of any creatures that emerge from the hollow. They should not be of a strength to challenge you, and it will allow us to adjust our attunement without risk. Then, let us begin. Only 15 days, man. Oh my god. Come on, flow where I tell you to. Let me attempt to match your focus. It opened. It's small, but enough to let something through. Be ready, Arntel. It's a sprite. Shit. Run. It survived. Shit. There we go. He ain't looking too hot. It has been quite a while since I opened a gate between worlds like this, but there are some things we never forget, aren't there? That was Far too much effort for such a small gate. On the contrary, given this was your first attempt, it's incredible that we succeeded at all. Now, try synchronizing your breath with mine. Focus on the rhythm of the ethereal flow. All right, I'm ready. Aha! A larger hollow, of course. The void scent may be proportionally stronger. It has been quite a while since it's... same dialogue. Upset. Angie. Where your breath ends, mine begins. Where your aether flows, mine flows. Together. Unbelievable. Full attunement so soon. Be ready, Arentel. What? Like talking to an old friend. Yes, that's what it's like. I think I've grasped the principle now. I only need remember the feeling for next time. I almost feel as if I do remember it. Your aether is familiar somehow, but that's impossible, of course. No, he's probably actually. No, he could be like a reflection of Nilbert. I mean, if Ardbert can be a Hume, while the player character is insert quantity here. Now that Tainer and I are capable of performing the necessary magics, I should like to make an attempt at investigating conditions on the 13th. Might I trouble you to contact Beglog? Arentel, are you there? I hope you've not lost focus on the Void problem. I have an exciting breakthrough to share, a work of Porksy-related genius, if I do say so myself. Beglog, excellent timing. We've made considerable progress as well, and are ready to open a portal when you are. Well then, let's say we meet at Laxenloth forthwith. It's far enough from any major Aetherites to avoid the sort of ethereal interference that would be a hindrance to our observation of the Void. Very well, we will see you at this Laxenloth anon, as soon as I can locate it. I'll lead the way. I am too eager to be one step nearer to our goal. You don't mind if I think of it as our goal, do you? I suppose they could also be reflections of each other, but I would be honored. Thank you, Tainer. Or any number of other permutations of the concept. For instance, that Unakalhai, like, due to his non-corporeal form, accidentally took on aspects of Nilbert when he read the memories. Or even something as simple as the fact that Unakalhai is, like, directly mimicking the memories and methods of Nilbert, that it just feels similar enough to evoke that response. Do you need flight to get up here? Shit. I can still scarce believe how quickly we've progressed. It's almost as if we've been friends all along. It appears Beglog has yet to arrive. Pay patience, Unakalhai. I hope you weren't waiting too long. What? You don't think I'd want to see this for myself? The 13th was my home too, if you recall. Quite. Though, as I explained, we won't be the ones doing the seeing. Strictly speaking, this familiar will gather all the information we need, assuming you two can create a hollow for it to pass through. That will do nicely. Now fly, my Porksy, fly. You gave it some manner of, ethereal protection, right? Well, it's made it in. And something is coming out. A full-blown demon wall. Oh, no, it's this guy. Sup? Long time no see. My, that is an ugly one, isn't it? Those two have really taken to each other, haven't they? I suppose they are of a similar age, in some ways, at any rate. We've already come further than I dared hope. I'm truly fortunate to have found Tainor. As I expected, these creatures hardly pose a challenge to you. Maybe don't tell Krieg about how large and horrible that one was, though. Thank you for clearing that up. The Porksy ought to be back any moment now, though I can't sense it. Odd. Perhaps it's lost. If Artel created an etheric beacon as he did for me, it might find its way back more easily. That may work. Go give it a go. Keep at it. Ah, a distinct Porksy-like presence. I see the snout. There we are. Now close the hollow before anything follows. I believe it has performed its task thoroughly, as instructed, good Porksy. With luck, its observations may indeed lead us to a means of driving the darkness from the 13th. However, I will need to review its findings in detail before I can tell you more, and it could take years to deduce a suitable solution. I admit that I am impatient to find a way forward, but I have endured millennia with half as much hope as I have now. If I must wait, then that is what I shall do. Like Arentel and your warriors of light, I will preserve until my world is safe once more. That is what a hero does. I think you'll make a good one. You as well. If that's the end of the excitement for the time being, we should head back to the Wandering Stairs, clear out that pall of anxiety Krieg is spreading all over the place. Teleport, thank you. Ah, you've returned Talon whole. Not that I had any doubt you would, of course. And how did your search of the Hollow go? We may have the information we need to save the 13th. It may be some time, years maybe, until we can be certain, but I will be here for as long as it takes. On that subject, I've been thinking. Would you be interested in joining us, as a bounty hunter, I mean? Krieg and I hunt down sin eaters and other threats. The first was saved, but it remains far from safe. You could help us protect the people here. I think I would quite like that, protecting people. If I can do that, then perhaps I will find the strength I need when the time comes. Strength, you say? Sounds like you could use a dwarf with a massive hammer. How could we not know who it is? For fuck's sake. Oh, it's all of them. Shit. I may have shared the tale of the 13th with a few other noted hunters. I know what it feels like to fight for something you've already lost, to need to find a way to make it right. And I know that it's not easy to fight on your own, inconvenient as that little truth may be. Thus, a new team is born. This calls for a toast. The beginnings of an honest-to-goodness adventurers guild in the first. I don't object, so long as this lot carries their weight. I'm a bounty hunter, not a puka hoarder. Herder? Hoarder? Something like that. I closed the window too fast. Thank you so much, all of you. I would be honored to fight at your side. I shall do my best to justify the faith you have shown in me and to save my home. Someday, I hope we can visit it together. Okay, one more thing. Training like that was nice. It was never easy, even back then, but I missed it. I'm glad Taenor's made a friend his own age. Bit on the odd side, but aren't we all? Oh, don't fret so. I've already told Ms. Elvara that I'll be in the Castrarium for the time being. The opportunity was just too good to pass up. Think of what we could do with all of us hunters together. They're a good lot, the other hunters. They really care about Unakalhai and saving that world of his. I'm happy to help however I can. Except for the drinking. Count me out of that. The other hunters aren't half bad at killing stuff, but we need to work on their drinking habits. Who drinks wine with dinner? At loose ends, are you? You're welcome to loiter about here if you intend to spend some coin while you're at it. Not that I'm not grateful for the business you've brought in mind. The hunters are here even more often now that they're working together, and their accounts never go unsettled for long. They're a pain in the arse to serve, of course. Maybe I'll drop your name next time I need them to behave. Still, it's nice to feel like something grand is in motion again. Perhaps Ardbert rubbed off on me more than I anticipated. How do you fare of late? Still tending the bar, cleaning up after drunkards and Glynard. If this is the punishment you had in mind, I struggle to fathom a harsher fate. In all seriousness, I could continue to use my sparse moments to entertain patrons with stories of the warriors of light. And thanks to your recent exploits, it's never been easier to find willing ears. What's more, with no more imposter walking about deceiving the masses, I'm now free to share the tale in its entirety. To speak the unadulterated truth, it seems I'll remain in my calling as a tavern wench for a while yet. Eden? And what should I know about that? Mitron, you're quite certain? And a girl burying Lawgriff's soul. I thought I sensed something oddly umbral about the Castrarium of late. Ardbert meant to put an end to the whole business, but truth be told, I wouldn't mind retreading old memories a bit. It might be nice to share a pint with the girl, once she's of age, of course, as a matter of fact. Do you think this Gaia would make a good waitress? No? Damn. As I mentioned, we never met in our previous lives, or should I say, while we were properly alive. This never gets less confusing. In any case, we each fought to protect the 13th, but alone as we were, I can hardly say that I know the details of his efforts. Only the regrets that we shared after. It wasn't too long before we went our separate ways to play our separate parts, yet here we are again, and that our one last chance to walk the noble paths together. Who can say? I too know the sting of the Ascian's deception. 'Tis well that this Golbez now strives to make amends of his transgressions. As for your friend Zero, I struggle to believe she's not only journeyed here to the first, but she was able to take light into herself. That one might have such strength of spirit beggars belief. That is not to say Unakalhai and I are not capable in our own right. In fact, I believe it may soon be time to put our plans into motion and return home to the 13th. Loose threads indeed. Zeromus. He was a great hero of Eld, beloved by all. Never did I imagine his name would live again after 10,000 years. Fitting that another who bears it might aid us, even if only by way of a Memoria crystal. That it should be wielded by this Zero is both reassuring and encouraging. To know that we are not alone in our endeavor makes our work here in the First all the more important. Speaking of which, I recently spoke with your comrades returned from the Empty. Only Orion J could have arrived at a solution as ingenious as primal summoning. Reed and Gaia are quite the formidable pair, aren't they? Skilled combatants gifted with command over light and dark. Were their strength not crucial to the First's restoration, I would ask that they join us when we return to the 13th. Anything new from you? Yeah, no, I'm good. So, with that, we have wrapped up all of the role quests. Every single one. And their connected bits in Shadowbringers. A few months late, but hey. I don't believe there's any other bits and bobs. I guess I could do Tales from the Shadows. No, I think I'll save that for its own stream. If it's too short, I'll tie it with St. Endlem's Skullscape. And this is for the Endwalker role quests. Yeah, that wraps it up. So, I want to thank anyone for stopping by who did. Next time, which will be maybe tomorrow, but probably not. If in failing that, Friday morning, I will be beginning the Endwalker role quests, starting with the tank one again. Then the healer one. No, go down my list. We'll see how quickly I get through that, and if I even have enough time. Who knows? One can only hope. But, one more time, I want to thank anyone for stopping by who did. I really appreciate anyone who gives me the time of day. And until I stream again, have a good one all.